Hey, Mortgage Coach community. Today I am interviewing Craig Barber in Boston. What's up, Craig?
Not much, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Well, hey, I want you to know I appreciate what a great mentor you are, not only within your branch, but within the entire Fairway organization. You're one of their top producers, and you do a great job of inspiring and motivating other loan officers to use Mortgage Coach. So I really appreciate that, brother.
Excellent.
Um, if you could just tell everybody a little bit about your market, a little bit about your production and your team, and then let's get into some ideas for everybody to be more successful.
Yes. So first off, thanks again for having me, Dave. Honored to be here. I'm market downtown Boston. A lot of condos. Very competitive. Lack of inventory. More buyers. For production last year, I helped out about 150 buyers or borrowers. About 63 million, I believe.
Congratulations. So
Thank you.
you're
Thank.
so you're busy. I mean, you've got a lot. How many referrals or credit reports are you running monthly to close that kind of business? Just so we have a feel for
Yeah,
the
I'm
type of
probably
volume.
talking to say 50 to 75 people on a monthly basis, going over different scenarios with them.
Okay, so you're talking to a lot of people. You're helping a lot of families get mortgages. It's a competitive market. How competitive from a rate sensitivity standpoint are your folks in your market?
We're down. We compete not only with the larger lenders like ourselves, but a lot of the private banks. Most of my buyers are what we'll consider jumbo buyers. They think high net worth, big down payments. So rate sensitivity, can be a challenge at times.
Yeah, and I think the biggest challenge I'm hearing from folks like you that are killing it, and in markets like yours, is where it's just not a lot of inventory, and you
Yeah.
got to you got to really compete. So I'm really trying to drive how can loan officers be more successful, being a coach and advisor to their client, leveraging tech.
Absolutely.
So talk about how you're leveraging technology to create more urgency with buyers, and how you're doing that in a way that helps realtors.
Yeah, so I don't know how true this is, but one of my top referral sources told me that in greater Boston, the average listing is getting anywhere from 10 to 12 offers per listing on the first weekend.
Wow.
So I look at that, and yes, obviously my job is to provide financing, but also I'm trying to help my buyers get their offers accepted, right,
Right.
at a higher rate than most. Because again, they have a 10% chance or less than 10% chance on any given listing in greater Boston. So really what we're doing and really focusing on is preparation. We want our buyers to be prepared walking into that open house or seeing that house for the first time, knowing what it's going to cost them right then and there, because they don't have much time to decide if that's the right house. They wait till
Right.
Sunday, Monday, it could be gone.
Got it. So what walk through your preparation process so that you're increasing the odds that their offer will get achieved, and how you're using the total cost analysis within that experience.
Yeah, so the total cost analysis has really changed the way I communicate with my buyers. And again, it's like everyone else. You get that call on Saturday, Sunday. Hey, listed for 500. I want to offer 525. What does that look like? Am I qualified? Am I prepared to make that payment? So we really try to take that guesswork out of the client's hands on Saturday, Sunday, and give them more education or more information on Thursday, Friday. So if I know they're going to go see a couple open houses over the weekend, we're proactively reaching out, and then we're showing them, hey, this is what it is for list price. This is what it would cost 20 grand above asking, 30 grand above asking, and really focus on the monthly payment or cash flow. Because at the end of the day, we really, kind of drive home. It's not really about the purchase price or loan amount. It's about what you're willing to spend and comfortable spending on a monthly basis.
Got it. So I want to make sure, man, mortgage coach land caught that. Let's say that customer wants to pay 500,000. You're not just giving them a $500,000 option. You're giving them 525, 550. You're trying to kind of go push the tolerance so they understand monthly cost, total
Absolutely.
cost over time. By the way, would you mind forwarding one of your total cost analysis
Oh, of
links?
course.
So if you're watching this, you're watching this through YouTube. If you're getting takeaways of value, like it and share it. But also, we're going to put a link to at least one of Craig's total cost analysis down below, and this will be a purchase options. We'll call it a
Absolutely.
purchase options scenario. What about cost of waiting? Are you doing anything to help the family understand that if they wait, that may not play to their favor? Is that part of your arsenal?
It was in the first quarter of the year. I think because again, we still have that inventory challenges. So a lot of these buyers or potential buyers were saying, you know what, I'm going to wait and rent another year. And what we were trying to do is, again, it's all about education and preparing them, saying, okay, if you do that, let's assume rates go up, whether it's a quarter point, half point, full point. Let's also be conservative. Let's assume a 5% price appreciation because that's what most economists are calling for, at least in Boston. What does that look like? Is it worth waiting? So we're really trying to, again, it's all about education. And then a lot of our buyers have decided, you know what, I'm still going to enter that market. I'm still going to get in there. But then you need to be prepared because, again, if you're not prepared to start at the ask price, you don't have a chance, which is really why we focus on how mortgage coaches help me, with my communication, because let's be honest, numbers are confusing for anyone, especially when we start looking at mortgages, different rates, down payments. But the mortgage coach really allows the borrower to see what it would cost on different scenarios pretty quickly and easy to understand.
And by the way, does it save you time? Like, when you think of mortgage coach, is it like, oh, this is an extra thing I do that actually adds to the time to do a loan, or does it actually save you time? And if you can speak to that in detail.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it saves me all kinds of time, especially on that Saturday, Sunday. Like anything else, new technology, it does take some time to master it. I think I've been using Mortgage Coach, I don't know, maybe 4 years or so now. I could get a mortgage coach done within 5 minutes per client.
Got it. So you're doing it in less than 5 minutes. It's saving you time. Give us some examples of how it's saving you time. Is it because you're having to talk to the client less? Is it they're not asking the same question over and over? What are some of the time savings things that you're getting?
The biggest one for me, I think, is just having a client understand what they're looking at. Right before I was introduced to Mortgage Coach, it was me typing out emails, and I think that's what the majority of the competition does as well. And let's be honest, you start looking at a 4, 5, 6 paragraph email about making an offer, I'm confused, right? And I was confused writing them, but the coach really allows me to simplify that process and look at the graphs and, all right, if I'm offering 525 with 25% down or 20% down, my payment is this. So I love the feature you could highlight the different payments, because it just sticks out right away. So again, I'm really focused on that monthly payment with my consumers, and it just allows it for the communication process. It saves me that extra phone call or that extra face-to-face or that extra, hey, what do you mean here? Because it's all right in front of them.
Are you doing many first-time home buyers? Is that?
Yeah, so my market's it's unique, right? Mostly first-time home buyers. Now, first-time home buyer in my market is still spending, $650,000, so they're still in that jumbo category. But first-time home buyers and a lot of people that are actually downsizing or empty nesters coming back into the city. We've had a pretty amazing growth in Boston. It's just like I mentioned before, lack of inventory. So my first-time home buyers are competing against those people that are downsizing.
Interesting. And then what about realtors? What are you doing so that a realtor understands the value of Mortgage Coach and your total cost analysis? And what are you doing that would be valuable to the agent, aside from the fact that you're just helping them create urgency with their buyers?
Yeah, and it's about being transparent, right? Because as we get those agents out there, start looking, they need to know, be able to qualify, disqualify that buyer right then and there, knowing they have to go above asking price in a lot of situations. So I want the agent to, so whenever I email out my Mortgage Coach presentation, I'm CCing the agent and the referral source that gave it to me. So when they're sitting down preparing that offer, they have all the information in front of them. Right, so they're not worrying about getting a hold of me. Hey, I need an updated pre-approval letter. Can they qualify it if they go up 30 grand? Or, what does the payment look like? So they know right then and there. They have all the information they need to make a strong offer and hope to get that offer accepted day one, rather than on Monday, Tuesday when they're competing against everyone else.
Got it. So you're CCing them. They're in the loop. They understand that total cost analysis. So I always like to get a script out of this if I could. So before you send the link in the total cost analysis to the borrower, what does that sound like? What do you say to the family so that when they get it, one, they click on it, and two, it has context, it has value to them? What does that scripting sound like?
Yeah, so it's different, right? So a lot of times, our market, I'm not meeting my clients face to face. Everyone's downtown too busy for whatever reason. So everything is done primarily through the phone and email. So I let them know, hey, as you start your search or continue your search, any home you're interested in, provide us that address, and what we'll do is show you financing examples or financing options on that specific property. My goal is to let you guys know exactly what's going to cost you before you walk into that open house, because your agent's going to let you know right then and there, hey, we got to move today. Right, and they create that sense of urgency. So I want to make sure they're prepared. So what I ask for, my ask to my client is, hey, Thursday, Friday, what are you seeing this weekend? And then I get that information and I provide it back to them before they walk in those open houses. So what I'm trying to do is just separate myself a little bit, not just be a rate guy, commodity guy. I'm trying to provide them that education before they walk in those open houses.
And really, it's a service. Do you ever update the numbers of the total cost analysis using your mobile phone? Do you log in and use the mobile at all?
You know what I do? That's a new feature for me. Like everyone else, we're busy, have family, have 2 kids that keep me very busy. So when I get that email or just a quick update, it's very simple to go on the phone. And I actually been using the phone when I do my video. I know you and I talk a lot about video. I'm not quite there yet, about 25% of the time. Everything is done through my mobile device. Video upload, seamless, it's simple. But I do use the mobile in order to update the numbers if I need to.
Love that. And when you do add a video, what are you typically saying in that video, just so folks can get a feel for your best practices when you add a mortgage coach video to a total cost analysis?
Yeah, so a lot of times, again, I try to keep it a little generic with the video because, again, the video stays with that analysis even if I'm updating it. So I try to show them, hey, if we're looking at, whether it's a 7-1 ARM, what does that mean? A 10-1 ARM, what does that mean? Down payment options, what does that really mean? And I kind of highlight, this is what your total payment's going to be, but not only that, this is what the estimated cash to close is going to be. Because again, my goal with Coach and really how it's changed the way I've originated is I want to be able to provide everything up front, kind of day one, day two, just to give them the confidence they need to start making those offers.
Love it, Craig. So one last thing, I always like to keep these under 15 minutes, and we're at 11 minutes, so we got a couple minutes. What do you say to the realtor so that they have an appreciation for the fact that you're giving, you're leveraging technology to be a better advisor? How do you frame that to the agent so that they see it as something as valuable?
Well, what I think with agents, I think, again, in our fast-paced market, and I'm sure you hear this on all your calls, right? Everyone has a fast-paced market, is, I always sit down and I ask them, hey, what are some of the challenges you have with other lenders you're working with? Or, I'm trying to find a way to separate myself from someone else. And the common theme is I can never get them on the phone. I can't get them when I need them, right? I'm talking about the lender here. So I would say, well, what if I'm able to provide you information with our buyer that you have right then and there at your fingertips? So whether or not you could get me on the phone, because we're all busy, I have a team, but there's definitely times that I'm stepped out, right? That you have the information they're asking for. Would that be a service or a benefit to you? And they're like, yeah, of course. So with that edge and with that mortgage coach, what they have, they are given that information right then and there. So that, hey, I'm thinking about going up, whatever it's $10,000, $15,000. Well, the presentation's on their phone too. Because a lot of my agents, referral sources have Coach, so they could pull it up with it and they could show it to them that, well, this is what it looks like. Are you comfortable with that payment? So they don't necessarily need to come back to me because I'm not always available 100% of the time.
Love that. And by the way, everybody, did you catch it? When having the mortgage coach conversation with an agent, you asked a great question and then you delivered the information. It's not that it's great technology. It's like, let me show you how I save time and how you have the information you need when you need it. I did an interview with Jeremy Forcier recently, and it's titled 5 Questions to Ask at Realtor Meetings. By the way, I'm going to put a link to that below because the interview is just around what are the questions you ask when you meet with a realtor. And it was how Jeremy integrates mortgage coach into the realtor conversation. And it was awesome. You answered while you and I didn't consider this around that same topic, it sounds like you're doing the same thing. But great interview. Check that out below. So, hey, Craig, I really appreciate this. The mortgage coach community appreciates it. It's mentors like you that help us bring a total cost analysis to more families, help more realtors. If you got value from this, like it and share it. Share it with your mortgage friends. Share it with your team. Talk about what Craig's doing. I mean, clearly one of America's best loan officers. Craig, any last thoughts before we wrap it up, or any advice that you give to your loan officer peers out there before we wrap it up? Any last thoughts?
Yeah, and that's one of my roles in the office. I do have, I think, 14 loan officers in my office, and I tell every single one day one, whether it's through our training program or new recruits, that mortgage coach will change the way you communicate with the borrowers. It will separate you from everyone else, because I do see even LOs on my team still today. They'll type those long emails, and I'll kind of walk by and say, man, what are you writing? Like, who wants to really read that? Right? They want to make a decision quick and fast, but educated, of course. And I try to sit down and show them this is a way to separate yourself from everyone else.
Love it. Well, hey, really appreciate it. Keep it up, my brother. Thanks for making time for this interview today.
Awesome, Dave. Talk to you soon.
Take care.